Okay, I brought Ganesh. Let's do this. Hey everyone, my name is Nirav Gandhi and I'm with GameLuster.com. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about Raji, an ancient epic. A few months ago, I made a video talking about representation in video games and how I felt that Indians are underrepresented, being that there's nearly 2 billion of us worldwide, and I can count about 4 games that feature Indian protagonists. Well, 5 I guess if you count the new Avengers. Yay? Raji, an Ancient Epic is the first game from Notting Head Studios, which is an Indian studio, and they decided to base their first game in Hindu mythology, in Indian mythology, I guess, overall. More than a 3D platformer with beautiful art and music, Raji is really a love letter to the mythology that a lot of us grew up with, the religion that a lot of us grew up with. So I just want to go over a few of the points that really stuck out to me as an Indian person that I recognized from my own upbringing.
As the demons turned to slaughter, Raji tried to reach her brother. He'd been hurt, and he was scared, and she knew she must protect him.
Raji's story is communicated through cutscenes featuring shadow puppetry, which was the most popular form of puppetry in South India in ancient times. Seeing things like this reminded me of when I was younger, and there would be children's shows, in lieu of cartoons I suppose, that would use shadow puppetry like this to communicate mythological tales and legends for kids. Seeing the puppetry displayed like this to tell the story of ancient myths reminded me a lot of those Hindu comic books that everyone had. If you're Indian and you're watching this, I know you had these at home.
No. I'm so sorry, bhai.
At the beginning of the story, Raji is whisked away to a world of Indian mythology, looking for her kidnapped brother. If you listen closely, you can even hear the bangles on Raji's ankle clinking together. It's a familiar sound. It reminds me of when I was younger and we would go to festivals for Indian holidays, hearing my mom put the bangles on and remembering that clinking sound they would make. In just a few moments, you'll hear the first lines of dialogue from the 2 gods who narrate the story, Vishnu and Durga. Durga is the wrathful aspect of Kali, who is the war goddess. Many families in India have had a patron god or goddess watching over them for thousands of years. Kali has been watching over my father's side of the family for 6,000-7,000 years as far as our records show. So, pretty long tenure.
She is so young.
A child. Remember Shiva's words.
It is so much weight to put on the shoulders of a mortal. Is this one strong enough?
Time will tell.
Hearing the voices of Durga and Kali, hearing the voice of God, sent shivers down my spine.
Your birth, Durga. The Devas knew it was their only chance to create a being capable of destroying their foe.
I was awestruck listening to Vishnu and Durga talk about the stories that I had learned on my own from either my grandmother telling stories or the comic books I mentioned beforehand, the cartoons for kids on those Indian channels, or even Bal Vihar, which is like an Indian Sunday school. It was so strange seeing it all come to life in a way that I could explore and touch and feel and walk around.
I wonder sometimes that perhaps you may have fallen in love with the human race.
I've only been to India once before, but the clothing, the pottery, the architecture, all of it seemed somehow familiar. Even the coloring was distinctly Indian in how bright and vivid it was, how unashamed it is. The trident that you see Raji wielding at this moment is the Trishula. That's Vishnu's weapon. I know it because I remember it from growing up and going to the mandir, the temple, and seeing Vishnu's statue holding that same weapon. This was simultaneously the most exciting and scary part of the experience for me. As soon as I saw these cobras, I knew where we were going. That statue in the back there is called a Shiva Lingam, which means that it contains the energy of Shiva. So Hinduism is structured in many different ways depending who you might ask, but most people would say that there is one single god, Brahman, and Brahman has three aspects: Brahma, who is the creator, Vishnu, who is the preserver, and Shiva, who is the destroyer. So for me, this was about as close as I could get to meeting God in a video game.
Lord Shiva, Mahadev, was it you who summoned me to this place?
If you kind of glanced over Raji when you first saw it in that Nintendo Direct, you'd be forgiven, but I want to make it known that this is a really important game to a lot of people, so give it a shot. If you like this video, throw us a like, a subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at Gondeezy, and yeah, everyone check out Raji. It's a cool time.